as you can see on the charts, the price of Ether is trying to push lower. Now, this has been the thought process in the SI family for some time. We were looking for this kind of a price action, and the way the price was reacting was kind of showing you this had a higher odds. That's one of the reasons why we were following through that, looking at these possibilities and how we can look through this. How can we maneuver through this market? Now, yes, you can put the argument that it is also possible that it is creating a falling wedge. That's a bullish part. But for that, we need to get a bounce off this territory, which is 2850 for Ether. Now, while that's happening in the market, what Bitcoin is doing and what XRP and others are doing is also important. Because if you do look at this on an easiest way to understand, you'll put the perspective that even if the price of Bitcoin drops like this, it is still following what? A higher high, higher low structure. So that still maintains that. Now for Ether and other assets to abide by that rule, they should be coming down to 2570. And that is going to be a key range to look for. Now, yes, the wick high is close to 2700. So can that be one range? Is that going to be the capitulation which we are going to see? We will discuss through that. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you look back, earlier this year, we had the thought process on this asset, which did what we told it would. If you go back in history, this is 2021 November, we had the thought process saying, be cautious, right? And that was the top. After that, you broke to the downside, you came all the way back down. So if you do look at the price action, if you are analyzing the market as a whole, you kind of have an advantage. This is one of the reasons why in the SI family we go through deep. We try to break things down so that you guys have an advantage. So even before the recent movement started in the AI, in the memcoin segment, I gave the thought process to the SI family like, those are getting into a bubble territory. You know what happens in a bubble territory. The euphoria, the kind of thought process like, okay, it's going to go higher forever, pushes the price up. Now, last month when they bottomed, I was highlighting this. The meme coins are bottoming out. Now, if you go look at that date, April 13th, that was the local bottom for them. They started moving higher. Just yesterday, we had the thought process of this is going to break higher. Watch. And it did break higher. Now, while all of this is happening, and you can see a lot of different indicators in the market, whether you're looking at the payments industry, whether you're looking at the smart contracts, it depends on which area you're focusing on based on what type of an investor you are. But if you do analyze them correctly, you kind of get an understanding of, okay, this is the average, put the Bitcoin in that terms and look through that. Okay, some of these have performed way better. So most likely they're going to be slow or they're going to go into a corrective movement. Fine. If that's all making sense to you, then what should you be looking at? How low can we actually go if you do see a corrective leg? Does the price action shows you that we are going into a correction? Do you think so? I mean, if you do, because some people say this is going to go all the way into 2026 and the bull market is that long, We started literally November, December 2022. So from there all the way into 2026. If that's your thought process, fine. But let me know, like, why? What are your indicators? What are your data points which justifies that opinion? Now, let's look at the Bitcoin side and see, okay, what do we see here? We had decent buying volume, which kind of shows you it was less than the last candle in terms of buying to selling volume. So this one is the selling, which kind of showed you still the price went up. Now you have buying volume, which is a little bit lesser than the last one. And that shows it is bigger in terms of the candle close on the bullish side. And the bulls still tried to go up. So that makes sense. Even though you had the volume on your side, it pushed to the upside. So literally, if you put this on the line chart, the argument which you should make, if you're not making it, is that there is a bigger possibility that you are trying to do something like this, where the pattern can be like this. Fine. Yes, that's a speculative movement. That's a speculation from my end. But if you do zoom a little bit out on the weekly, this is what you're still watching. This week, yes, it's just been like, 48 hours. You haven't seen much movement in terms of strong bulls being active here. But what you can see is the fact that this range is a strong support. The range of 61 is being a support and the low is now close to 56. Now remember, the moving average on a weekly, 21 moving average on a weekly, is now close to 57,000. When we started talking about this possibility, it was at 54. Now it's at 57. So if you want to see the price coming back down to retest the moving average before you bounce, most likely it's going to be another higher low, because the last one was here at the downside of 56,300. And the weekly now shows you most likely it's going to meet somewhere around 58. That still is positive. But the question is, okay, if Bitcoin decides to go back down to 58, what would you see in the altcoin market? That's something to keep in mind, because while that's happening, while Bitcoin is slowing down, Bitcoin dominance is going up. We talked about this possibility, saying we would like to see this guy breaking higher, testing this range, which actually is a macro range, so that we start our corrective movement there. But while that happens, yeah, altcoin is bleeding. If you actually look at the majority of the altcoins here, you'll actually understand the fact that you don't actually see a huge bullish movement on the short-term horizon. Yes, it cannot be neglected that the long-term trend is this. So you can still come down to the point like this. Say you put a horizontal line here. To bring clarity, it shows you 540 billion is what you would be looking at in the total altcoin market, excluding Ether, say total 3. That kind of a correction can still be fine and positive, because that will still deliver hidden bullish divergence, which is still extending, and that would show you the MACD reaching that territory. Now, what do I mean? You go into the MACD and you see the signs of cooling off. Cooling off of what? Right? The selling pressure. So we have seen this multiple times in history, and whenever you kind of get that, the price slows down. During that point, you make a bottom and you move back up. But for that argument to be legit on a short-term scenario, you need to first see the price action pushing the price above the moving average on at least a daily chart. So here, even on a 4-hour chart, the price is below the moving average. That doesn't look good. meaning at least on the short-term horizon, most likely you're going to come back down to retest this low, which you have put recently. That's April 13th. So it's already been a month and you haven't retested that range. And it is suggesting you, if Bitcoin pushes a little bit lower, you can visit those levels. And especially when you look at Ether, that argument kind of has a lot of value. Now, all of this is short-term micro movements. If you do zoom a little bit out on the Ether side of things and ask a logical question to yourself and try to answer that with any information, goes back in time and is legit, gives you an idea that, okay, yeah, that is not something out of a blue. We have seen 37% drop. Still, the market was going up. We have seen events where the price was below the moving average and the price dropped 39%. And it made a double bottom before it went up. Below the moving average on a 3-day chart. There's a 21-day moving average we are discussing. So if you put that perspective, we are still only 33% down. So the 39-40% drop is still in picture. That's like, okay, this is nothing changing your macro horizon, because even if a 39% drop comes in, which is similar to what you have seen in the recent past, you would actually argue, okay, fine, that is still making a higher low. But let's be honest here. If you actually look at this and you put the argument, it's going to be a textbook retest and a bounce, that gives a lot of opportunity for those who even have the basic knowledge of TA. And I really don't think the whales would give you that amount of opportunity, right? They would do something which is surprising. Now, that's one of the things which I've been literally repeatedly saying all the way from December 2022, because 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, till around 14, 15 months, the market was highly predictable. And I was literally saying this on the one-on-one sessions and few of my videos, saying, expect some uncertainty, expect some surprises in the market where they show something and then do something, right? And we are now in that phase. This is where they create the panic. This is where they create that shake off, kind of pushing a lot of people who don't have the experience in the market. If you've been in the market for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, now you already know these kind of moves is not what you are focusing on. What you are literally looking at, the easiest way on a monthly or a weekly chart, you're looking at the direction. Easy part. Are you trending down? Okay, I'm negative. Are you trending higher? Okay, I'm positive. But here it was not trending higher. It was in the accumulation range because it was not putting in lower low. It was inside that range. Then all of a sudden, you see that starts trending higher. Yes, it's choppy. There's a lot of 30-40% drop, but it is still trending higher. Now, which side do you think we are now? The price was trending lower. After that, you did not put a new low. So that became your accumulation range. You tried breaking it, but still you made a higher low. So you're starting to trend higher from that point. You broke that, you put in a new high, new low, which is a higher low, and pushed to the upside. So which side do you think we are traveling now? If you do look at the XRP side of things, one thing which you can clearly see is this leg was a great leg of momentum. It showed us the momentum is increasing, but now we gave that up. We retested and we got rejected. Last weekly candle showed us that. Now we are returning back to this trend line, which started from June 2022, after the Luna crash. We put that bottom in, we made a double bottom, we kind of made a new trend line. Now, if you zoom a little bit out and put that trend line extending all the way back, you can put an argument, okay, it looks good. We had another trend line here, which was also fine, but now you're in between there. And it really shows you, If you break 0.47 to 0.43 zone of support, that doesn't look good. Look at the fundamentals, that's strong. Look at the adoption, that's good. The developer activity, that's perfect. But the price is still going down. One of the reasons is the hype around this asset. A lot of people expecting $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, and you name it. And that makes kind of zero sense at this point. That is one of the reasons why I say let the market show you the direction. If you have an accumulation zone, the price kind of retests that zone, bounce back up, that's your buy. There's a lot of different assets which are showing you that. Remember, when we went through showing you all these opportunities, it was basically because of that. The market went down, it made a micro accumulation, you broke higher, you retested, you bounced off. That was your mark up phase. If you follow the macro, that gives you the idea. Here, think about this. The wave 1, the wave 2, you're going for the wave 3. Look for the divergence. It will show you if it is a wave 3 or not. Because that's one thing which has been 95% of the time spot on in the market. You don't want to go against it. Negative divergence. So if you look for the divergence here, the only thing which you're going to see is the bullish divergence formation, not the negative divergence. So you should be asking yourself the question, which side should I go? Should I jump into the argument or the territory which says price is going to go down massively, even though you are above the all-time highs as a support? On a weekly, on a monthly, this is super clear. This is where your all-time highs were. This is where the price action is now highly volatile. It's choppy for sure. You're going up, you're coming down. That's all happening. Agreed. But if you do see this level break, okay. It doesn't matter who says what, I say what, they say what. No. The market will be showing you, no. I'm going down. There is something wrong. But if it is bouncing off from this level, look for the RSI. Is the RSI agreeing with that strength? If not, that's the negative divergence building up and it's going to confirm at one point. And that is where the money flows into the altcoin. I mean, I'm tired of waiting for that for sure. I was expecting that negative divergence here earlier, February. It kind of gave a fake out here just with one micro candle and then became an inside candle and went on to the upside. Now we had the breakout, we had the targets. At that point, it was clear. It was a retest and a bounce, not a fake out. We went till that point. Now it is showing you a hidden bullish divergence when the price is here at the all-time highs. And I'm like, whoa, that is not 72, which I would be looking at. That would be 85. That would be 90, 92. That's still possible, right? It's going to be a psychological mark, which is 100K. And I think maybe we won't touch that. But even if this is true and you're going to bounce off to 80 and 90, that's a 50% run up for this asset from here. And when that's happening, you'll see a lot more small to medium cap assets taking off. Historically, it's when you have the negative divergence confirmed where the altcoins, the large cap altcoins take off. We would be mostly in large cap altcoins. That's one of the reasons why I was arguing if you don't have small cap, if you don't have medium cap, look through them. Understand your side. One of the reasons why I was giving you the large cap smart contracts, medium cap smart contracts, large cap payments, medium cap payments. One of the reasons why we were going through a list of these was to give you the right idea that are you just in one asset? Are you just in one segment? Are you just in the large caps? You need to understand your upside potential and your expectation should match. If you're expecting 100x and you don't have small to medium cap assets, that's trouble. You'll be depressed with the results. But if you're expecting 10x and you're all in large cap, that's fine. That's what you are as an investor. But your expectation should match with the other stuff. This is one of the reasons why in the SI family, when the one-on-one sessions goes through, we take you guys through all the spectrum. Whether it's the payments, the smart contracts, the gaming, you should know which of these are small caps, micro caps, large caps. You need to know that. Now, if you want to get on with that, look at the Scientific Investor family. The link is given in the description below in YouTube or in the bio on Twitter. Now, guys, if you watched till this point and you're here getting value, smash that like button for me. I appreciate that a lot. If you have any questions or doubts, let me know in the comment section below. I'll get back to you soon. I'll meet you all in the next video. Bye for now.